I think there are a lot of misconceptions that people have about women who are childless, divorced, or maybe never even married. It's always to the extreme. It's either we're miserable and lonely, or we're pretending that we are so self-sufficient and happy to be alone by never really needing anyone in our lives. I'll be 39 in a couple weeks. How do we get here? How am I almost gonna be 40? Like, this is insane to me. I'm divorced. I have no children. I live alone. My family isn't around the corner. And most days, I love my life. I actually enjoy the solitude, but that doesn't mean that I never feel lonely. I am alone, but I'm not always lonely. I've learned how to love the loneliness. I can go places alone. I can travel alone. I can get on a plane alone. I can handle my own problems. I can make my own money. I can come home to an empty house and actually enjoy the silence. And I've gotten so comfortable doing these things on my own or by myself that when I finally do have company, I get a little overwhelmed. When I have certain people around, it just starts to irritate me. And it's not because I hate them or they've done something wrong. It's just I've learned how to live in solitude. Sometimes I'm lonely, and you might think that that sounds contradictory because it's like, how can you be lonely, yet you still want people to leave you the hell alone? I think as you get older, or as we get older as women, something happens, something changes in our mind about when you're 22 or 23, loneliness feels temporary. But then you blink and somehow you're pushing 40. All the friends you had and all the connections that you had sort of start fading off or dying down because people get married, they have kids, they're moving forward with their life. And sometimes we feel like, are we not moving forward? Are we not progressing because we live a life in solitude and we don't have the kids, we don't have the husband? I don't believe that to be true. Now we've reached a point in our lives where there isn't somebody coming home to us. We don't have our family around. You're not at home living with mom and dad anymore. You don't have the partner coming home to see you after a long day at work. You don't have somebody automatically asking you, how was your day? You might not even have an emergency contact at this point in your life. And that's a very strange thing to realize. Life doesn't always work according to the timeline that we were sold as a kid. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I would rather be alone in solitude than have somebody in my life just to say there's somebody by my side. Because I think for a lot of us, we've experienced something worse than loneliness. We've experienced being with the wrong partner and feeling completely alone when you're in a relationship or a marriage. Feeling completely alone when you have somebody laying right next to you. And that's the kind of loneliness that I would never want to choose again. I think a lot of us were sold this idea that in order to have value, we need to have a husband, we need to have children. In order to have a purpose, we need to have these things. There's a big difference between want and need. It sucks that a lot of us have gone through life with this urgency to find that man that we need or the purpose that we need instead of going after the things that we truly want. I actually, even though I'm sitting here telling you all these things about living a life of solitude, I still would like to share my life with someone. Maybe not in the traditional sense, but I still have room and time and space in my life to share my thoughts, my feelings. You can be self-sufficient and also want to have a partner in your life. You can still be self-sufficient and want a partner. I'm sitting here telling you I love traveling alone, but there have been times where I am alone traveling and I'm in my hotel room in tears because it's not always easy doing everything alone. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I've proven to myself that I can live alone, but it's not something that I think necessarily has to be true forever. I am a loner, I am, but if you put me in a group of people, I'll be perfectly fine. I can carry conversation. I do enjoy talking. Ask a couple of my friends. I only have a very few friends, and they will tell you that I am a yapper, okay? I am a yapper. But there comes a point in time where enough is enough. My social battery is drained, and I need some time for myself, and that's okay. Two things can be true at once. Not even having an emergency contact can be a little jarring when you think about it. Who would I call when I'm sick? Who do you call when something breaks? Who do you call when you're scared? Who do you call when you've reached an accomplishment and you just wish you had somebody to share that news with? Sometimes the silence we experience in solitude feels like freedom, and sometimes that same silence feels deafening, feels lonely. Sometimes I think loneliness is just paying the price for not allowing certain things in your life that just wouldn't serve you. The wrong people, the wrong experiences, the wrong environments. If you need to pull yourself away from those things, I think it's worth paying the price of loneliness. I can stay in relationships that don't serve me, sure, but it wouldn't be good for my mental health. I could keep friends around. I could entertain people that I don't even like. I could stay in relationships that really don't serve me or do me any good. I could keep people in my life, hell, because we've known each other for so long that why would I end the friendship? But that's not connection. That's just avoiding being alone. I would rather choose solitude than settle for company, whether that is in a romantic relationship or otherwise, whether it's family or friends. So yeah, I'm approaching 40, well, 39. I'm divorced. I don't have children. I spend a lot of time alone. Sometimes I absolutely love it, and sometimes I hate it. And guess what? That's all right. That's okay. Sometimes I can't even imagine sharing my space or my bed with another person. And then other times I feel like I'd give anything to have somebody by my side. It's the craziest thing. But I also don't think we need to choose one version to be true or right. Two things can be true at once. And maybe that's what adulthood really looks like. Not having everything figured out, not pretending that loneliness doesn't exist, and not treating loneliness like it's proof that you've failed. I'm not looking for somebody to complete my life. I've already built one. If the right person came along and wanted to be part of it, I'd invite it. I'd love that. But until then, I'd rather sit with the occasional feelings of loneliness than settle for company that's just not for me.